Welcome everyone to the Freddie and Alyssa show. If you are new to the channel, be sure to subscribe, like, comment, all that fun YouTube stuff. If you're watching on Facebook, follow the page. We have some exciting videos coming your way. And if you're listening on a platform like iTunes, hello out there. If you think we deserve a 5-star review and you want to leave one on iTunes for us, that would be just awesome. We've been putting up content now for almost 4 years professionally. And we get to do what we love because of all of your support. So we always want to make sure that we have a dedicated portion to truly thank you from the bottom of our hearts for supporting the show. And we try to keep it entertaining for you. And there's a couple ways of keeping it entertaining. You find entertaining stories or you live a circus of a life.
Ooh, which one do you think we are?
Well, I think that we live a circus of a life.
Boy.
But it's organized chaos.
Organized chaos. That's a good one.
Yeah, so we're gonna be moving again, and we're gonna get into that as our first topic. Today is also Cinco de Mayo.
It is.
And that's a very important date for Alyssa and myself because we shared a sweet, sweet smooch 11 years ago.
You swooped in 11 years ago.
Do you like kissing your friend Freddie or your husband Freddie better?
My husband, Freddie. What makes you ask that? What about you?
No, I just remember the exciting time of being a young man of 2010. I was 24?
No.
22. Yeah. I was a 22-year-old young man with a smoking Burnett at the time.
Yeah.
In my apartment.
So weird.
And we were drinking, we had 3 beers. Good for us.
We were drinking wheat beer at the time, which it was wheat Bud Light, which they don't even make that anymore.
No.
But I loved it. It was in the orange.
Yeah.
Right?
That might have just been a little,
like a special, how they come out with their specials. Or maybe it didn't sell, and they decided to discontinue.
You know how I've known I've always been a little weird?
God, I don't know.
You know the thing I remember most about that is
What?
I remember feeling touched that when we went to 7-Eleven, you paid for it.
Really?
Yeah, it meant something to me. I go, that's pretty cool. So she's not using me for my non-money I didn't have yet.
Oh my gosh. Well, because at the time you were just my friend, and I was like, oh, let me, just get my friend, someone who I care about, some beer, let me gift him some beer for us to split. And then that would later turn into a big smooch, an engagement, a wedding, a baby. I'm just kidding.
No, not a baby yet. But yeah, I definitely went in for the smooch. It was reciprocated well. I think I tried to push the boundaries a little when that didn't work.
Yeah, I said nope.
So I settled for a nice, smooch or 2 or 3.
Yeah, and that kind of started the whole organized chaos, if you will, of us going out that summer, and every night from time to time we would, maybe end the night with a little kiss. It just was always a lot of fun. But what's really crazy is this kiss happened Cinco de Mayo 2010. We had only met a couple months prior, and we were hanging out a lot, though. You were always at my house. We were always friends. And that happened. And at that point, everyone just knew one day it'll happen.
One day it will. And for all of our friends who bailed that night and left us alone by accident, really put something in motion.
Yeah.
That was great. Yeah, I definitely, and also too, we don't have anything to compare. I didn't go to a traditional college. You didn't either, in the sense of like parties and all that stuff. And we also, we're in Hollywood. So even though kissing was a big deal in the sense of, because I actually really liked you, it wasn't just like, this girl's really pretty, and it's just kind of, but yeah, in Hollywood especially, but that again, can't compare it. It was just, it was kind of a thing that would happen without having to go on a date or anything. It was just like parties and hooking up kind of thing. It was that was kind of the culture and that young vibe, which I think happens in college. Obviously, you hear those stories and everything. Sure. But there was something special because I had more than just an attraction to you. I had a crush, and and then I chased you for 14 months, and then we got together, and now we're here 11 years later.
About to move again.
And what's funny is I was surprising you this morning, and I was going to come in and I was like, I'm going to give you a kiss for the first time as my wife now on our anniversary of the kiss. And as I come into the kitchen, I was like, hey, babe, I'm going to give you a kiss as husband and wife for the first time. You turned to me after you just got done blowing your nose in a paper towel in the kitchen. And it just completely ruined the moment. But
Listen, I've got allergies, baby. This is wife life now. You're a husband. You
Yeah.
get it all, baby.
You do.
11 years, and that's that. But it was such a sweet moment, and it kind of ruined
Yeah,
it.
you look back and you go, we've come a long way.
We have come a long way, honey.
But now we're going to continue to move. I want to reference these Band-Aids in case anyone can see them. I was cooking and I burned myself, but I was going to go on a walk. But then when they stopped with the mowing, I go, oh, let's come up and do this right now. But I put these over it because if you have a scar that's healing or a cut or a burn and it's exposed to sunlight, it'll discolor it, which happened to the bridge of my nose. When I hurt my nose, I never put sunscreen on it. So when the new skin was coming out and hitting the sun, it turns and discolors it. So I've always covered this. But I was using the air fryer, which I recommend, by the way. Everyone needs an air fryer.
They seem dangerous, though.
Oh, they're extremely dangerous.
But delicious.
Yeah, as long as you're over 3 years old, you should be fine.
How exactly did you do that? You're just taking it out and...
I was using it in a silly way. I was heating up leftover burgers, and I couldn't get them out. And I was like, do I prick it? Do I try to scoop them? I said, let me just grab them. I was successful, but on that last one, I caught the corner and burnt it.
That was my burger you were heating up.
Yeah.
Thanks, babe.
I've been cooking like a beast lately.
You have been going crazy with the cooking.
And I want to talk about Green Chef because they're the sponsor of our podcast. We're going to do that later in the show.
Yeah.
But they deliver all of the ingredients to the house, and I want to learn to be a better chef because Florida Fred is known for just putting things together. I've never followed recipes.
Right.
But what I'm finding is that I'm learning new techniques that I never would have done. Like the other day, I was like cutting carrots and baking them, and then I put some honey and red pepper in the oven, and like I never would have thought of that combination. So I'm learning new ways so that when I do put ingredients together as Florida Fred, I'm learning new techniques. So it's kind of a cool experience, and I'm having a lot of fun. And I've cooked you dinner almost every night and lunch.
And even breakfast.
Yeah.
I mean, you've been really spoiling me lately.
I really have.
And I'm obsessed with it. I mean, granted, I'm going to have to start, cutting back on the calories or working out a little harder.
I'm just working out harder.
You've been really good with that.
Yeah.
But I've just been so busy. I haven't had a second. But that's why I appreciate so much all those meals because you spoiled me.
I do.
So
I know.
good.
Yeah.
I've been really good at it too.
I've been doing
spoiling me.
Well, both, right? But yeah, I was looking. I've been doing pretty good on my diet and working out.
Yeah.
But then I just shaved and cut my hair, and it always makes me feel like I lose 10 pounds just by doing that.
Sure.
So it makes me feel like I'm in the right direction.
You are, honey.
But yeah, we're kind of spoiling ourselves now, and this is a really good lesson in life that we've learned is when we thought we had this place for an additional year, we came here, we found this as an Airbnb for 2 months, then we decided we were getting married, we didn't want to go find a place, we said, hey, will you lease this out? They said, sure, you want to do 6 months? We're like, no, let's do a year because we're crazy like that, we're going to find a house to buy, and now we ended up changing our mind, and so we're leaving at the end of this month, but as that quick recap happened, what we're realizing, and as soon as we told the landlord and they were kind enough to let us out of the lease, I'm starting to appreciate the house again.
Oh my God, yeah.
There was an appreciation of the pool and the yard, and it's so funny in life that you and I have talked about this. We lived in an apartment for 15 years, and we wanted to have this house, and I felt just so amazing being here. And then once we signed the lease and you knew you had it for 12 months, you start getting accustomed, just like anything in life. And then as soon as we said, oh, we're leaving, everything again became special. Yeah. So I was in the pool. We're like utilizing the whole entire property again. And so I'm excited to experience the next 3 weeks here and really enjoy it before we head out.
Longer than that. We've got like 4 weeks, but it's crazy because we have 4 more weekends. When we first got here in October, I'll never forget. Now, granted, this was after a crazy road trip, which was so much fun, but that's a lot for someone to go through, and we're working on it. But I remember standing in the kitchen when we first got here, and I just started crying because it was just such tears of joy. I couldn't believe we finally made it here. I couldn't believe this house was ours for at the time. We were I think it was 2 months.
Yeah.
And then, like you said, once we finally, because we've been here now, it's 8 months.
When we leave, it'll be a total of 8 months. Yeah.
Wow. But a couple months ago, you just kind of get used to it, and you don't really, every single day go, oh my gosh, I love this. But now that we're leaving, everything I do, I'm like, oh, it's such a beautiful view today. Oh, I get to take this bath with this beautiful view. Oh, I can dip my toes in. Oh, go look at that beautiful bird out there, you know, oh, this kitchen, whatever it is, you really appreciate it. And so I'm curious for you, with us doing the research that we have with the different homes in the area, what do you think about apartment versus townhome versus a house for our next move?
Well, I've really done a lot of exploring. I'm kind of taking the you're kind of looking, I'm kind of going,
Yeah.
just to make it, you know, simpler so we can multitask and take care of other things all at the same time. And so I've been looking at everything. And, you know, obviously apartments cheaper, easy to clean, low security deposit, overall cheaper, just easy peasy, like turnkey. The only problem is that you have neighbors again, and you don't have grass, you don't have, you know, anything. You have to go downstairs and do all that stuff. And we've lived in the apartment life, so I really do like even having. I don't care if it's even a 10 by 10 backyard, like just something that's my little grass area, and Benji because he loves it. So I think we're gonna stay away from the apartments. The more we really considered it, and I'm still not completely out, but it's got like no chance, to be honest. So we're looking at like a townhome, or we're looking for an affordable house that is just like a reasonable, normal house, you know, not in something like this, which is beautiful. But there's beautiful houses, you know, that are just 3-bed, 2-bath, and that's all we need. One for a studio, one for an office, one for our bedroom. And yeah, you know, we just want a place because we thought that we were going to find a place to buy within this time frame, and that's why we decided to spend the money here, because we're like, let's have fun. And I do agree that we made the right decision by going a little big on the house, because the transition of a 15-year life to a new state, dealing with all of the changes in life, if we were in an apartment and there was like noise, like just to add to the challenge and stress of this new change in life, I'm really happy we had this really luxurious resort feel type house as the 8-month transition into Florida. Because as much as it felt like home, we were still like every month there was just challenges that we were dealing with. And to be able to go sit outside or walk or have this space allowed us to deal with that stress and those challenges at a better level.
Yeah.
But now that we're acclimated, I got the license plates coming in the mail. I just sent in the transfer. So we've got you don't have your driver's license yet, but I have mine. We're getting everything situated, and I want a long-term townhome or house that is a reasonable price that we don't want to rush out of, but also don't want to pay too much where we still are kind of like, this is a waste of money if we keep doing this for too long. So I really love the fact that we can find something that's affordable so that we don't have to keep hopping around, and we're going to be able to do that. But I'm actually excited. I'm excited to move because it's just yet again a new adventure, and I always just, you have that, you know, that spike of happiness.
I wouldn't say I'm excited to move. I'm not stressed out though, which is different because I think the reason being is I've done a lot of research on what's available around here. And so right now we're in a place called Reunion, Florida. And there's a lot of, I guess you could say like tourist type houses. People come on vacation. It's close to Orlando, and we really love everything about it. And right next to it, there's also another area called Champions Gate. And they have a lot of these available townhomes that also have a covered screen and pool, which that was never an option in LA, to have your own pool in a townhome at an affordable rate.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, there's just no way. And I think the biggest thing for me is ever since we moved here, having Benji and his life of loving to go outside and sunbathing. I mean, he never did that in LA. In our last place, we literally had no sun on our balcony. And remember, you ended up putting the ivory up. Do you remember that?
Yeah, because the stairs were there, so people would look right in our apartment.
Yeah, and we didn't like that. And so we literally had nowhere to go. So he could never go outside. And we've seen just such a difference in quality of life for him. And he's older too. I just want to make sure the rest of his life is filled with as much like Florida sunshine as possible. So having, you know, an area out back and the screened in, I think is pretty big for both of us, because we've been noticing as of lately, there definitely are some skeeters out there who like to bite our little feet. So having that screened in area would just be really excellent. And there was one that we were looking at. It even had a little grill. And I feel like we've really just enjoyed our outside time together lately, like we really have. So that would be great. But then we've seen a couple of houses too that they don't have the ones in our price range usually don't have pools. Some do, but it's so funny. It's just like those shows you watch. You look at the things that you want and you're like, well, for this price, you can get this, but you're going to have to pull back here. Do you want the pool that bad, or do you want an updated kitchen?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
You have to pick and choose. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm open to whatever. Like you said, I'm not stressed about it because we're kind of here now.
Yeah.
And the fact that we've got your dad here, my dad's going to fly down for like 3 or 4 days, because also moving everything heavy and hanging everything back up, it's just nice to have help. And if we're going to do any painting or something, which I doubt we will, but there's certain houses we've seen where I go, why is there an orange wall?
Why would
Just
you ever
one
do burnt
orange accent wall needs painted. So it'll be nice to have some help. So we just backed the U-Haul right up to our garage here.
Yeah.
So we're not going to have to carry it down like a huge flight of stairs or anything like that. But yeah, so that's going to be our journey. We always like to share with you how we're just always, moving on to the next thing. And the more I think about it, I just think this is how we are.
That's what we know.
Even when we do eventually buy a house, we're still going to go Airbnb somewhere, I bet you, in a different state for 2 months, or travel or do things. It's just kind of how we've, it's just like kind of what we do. And we have to continue to pivot. I think yet again, growing up as an actor and then growing up, being self-employed or doing online, it gives you that flexibility, but also the uncertainty. Mm-hmm. So we've kind of built our developmental stages of an adult with kind of an unstable, uncertain future, because every year on the show, I was like, is this the last year for me? With everything you're doing in business, like you have to keep thinking, there's never really, like, I didn't like get in with a good company and knew I could grow for 38 years here. And like, I have, 401k match and like, this is going to be we should get a house. That's smart. It was always, if we buy this house in LA and I get let go next year, how will we afford a $4,200 mortgage?
Right.
So it was always, well, what's next? And so we've gotten used to it, but it creates us taking chances. Yeah. And during any like down point, it feels like you're like, oh, I just want certainty. But then after you get out of it, you look back, and I'm grateful because of everything we learned and the adventures and the stories that we have and the places we've gone, the people that we've met. So there are pros to being kind of nomads.
Of course.
But
I don't think, though, you and I would be like truly fulfilled if we didn't have these crazy risks in life and excitement and being an entrepreneur. Of course, like, great risk comes great reward, but it also comes a lot of just hot mess stuff that happens. Oh, yeah. We're always just up and down. There are always things that happen in life as you're trying to pursue a goal. But I think we kind of thrive on.
Well, we have to. Because there's no going back. There's no going back of I think once you experience the just those moments in life, the highs, it's kind of hard to, unless you really work on it. And I've really tried to find the simple joys, and I found things like cooking later in life that I enjoyed. I want to try golf. I really think that's something like where that I can just have like this normalcy. But I think just being in Hollywood, and just living that kind of crazy life, when you experience these high of highs, you always kind of chase those. And so if you're not even close to them, you almost feel a little unfulfilled, which is, I don't know if that's healthy or not, but it's just the truth. And the highs also come with not only like crazy experiences, but people that we've gotten to meet, people you get to work with, just some of the most like ridiculous stories. And then also the influx of like potential cash is also strange. Like we'll have a meeting where we go, if this goes right, it's like financially changing of your life. Or if this goes wrong, it's always, so it's like an influx and all this stuff. So I don't want to always have that, but I think all of this is bringing us to a level where we can at least have a little more controlled chaos.
Totally.
So that we can chaos. Where it's there. But I don't feel out of control. I feel really good right now.
I do too. And I'm really excited. And another thing is I really have just been obsessed with Orlando, this area, the people we've met, the experiences, just everything in general. I've really been enjoying Florida.
Today's episode is sponsored by Green Chef. So Florida Fred wants to become a better chef. So I usually just kind of make things up as I go, but I'm going to have Green Chef help me. And Green Chef has been helping me. Yay. And I want to tell you about it because it's been absolutely amazing. Green Chef is the first USDA certified organic meal kit company. Enjoy clean ingredients that you can trust, seasonally sourced for peak freshness. And here's some of my favorites. Ingredients come pre-measured, perfectly portioned, and mostly prepped. So you can spend less time stressing and more time enjoying delicious home-cooked meals. Green Chef makes eating well easy and affordable with plans to fit every lifestyle, whether you're keto or paleo, vegan, vegetarian. They have all these different options. But I just love that they all come prepared, because sometimes if I go to the grocery store, I'll end up wasting ingredients, which I don't want to do. So it comes just prepackaged, ready to go, step by step. You like tear the bag, you do this, and it's just step by step. And here are what they send you. If you're watching this, you can actually see it's a little guide. So I made Greek beef and feta patties the other day.
So good.
It was
so good.
The best meal I ever cooked.
I know.
And I'm learning techniques about cooking that I didn't know before. So that's also what's amazing about this. Not only are you getting like a good meal, but you're learning cooking techniques by following, a recipe. But these little cheat sheets will tell you it's a 30-minute cook time, 2 servings, all the ingredients, what you'll need to actually cook it. And it's just step by step. So I found it extremely easy. It's making me a better cook, and we're enjoying delicious food. And because it's Cinco de Mayo, we have to have a little romantic, because I got to get another kiss in there, by the end of the night. And I'm going to make us some beef enchiladas.
Yes.
Because nothing says romance like no. But beef enchiladas are going to be great. We celebrate Cinco de Mayo, 35-minute cook time. And I'm really pumped to
be good to
make
go.
this, because I've never made anything like this. Yeah, so Green Chef, thank you so much. If you want to try Green Chef out for yourself and follow along too, because Florida Fred's going to go on this journey, and I'm going to be cooking all different types of food. So if you want to come along on this journey, Green Chef is offering a huge discount for all of our listeners. So go to greenchef.com/90TFA show and use code 90TFA show to get $90 off, including free shipping. So this is a really great deal. So you can go to greenchef.com/90TFA show and use code 90TFA show to get $90 off, including free shipping. Green Chef, the #1 meal kit for eating well.
Since I'm the wildly sentimental one, I'm going to take over our next sponsor. Today's episode is brought to you by Storyworth. So no doubt it has been a great year for all of us. And I know for me, the one thing that's really helped me get through it is calling my mom and having her talk me through it. So this year for Mother's Day, I was like, well, what can I get her that's, really thoughtful, heartfelt, sentimental? And I found it with Storyworth. So Storyworth, it's this online service that helps moms, grandmoms, mother-in-law. I have one of those now.
You do.
Or just any mother figure in general, help share their stories so that you can have them forever. And it's really cool because every single week what they do, Storyworth will email your mom. They'll ask her or give her a story prompt to ask her a thought-provoking question where your mom will then reply with her story. So maybe it's a question like, what's the best piece of advice you've ever gotten from your mom? Or what's a talent you wish you had? Just questions you probably would have never asked before.
Yeah.
And it prompts your mother to be able to answer it and share her story. And the very cool thing about this is after 1 year, Storyworth will take all of these stories plus photos and make a really special keepsake and send it for you so that you'll have it for generations to come.
Oh, wow.
Isn't that so sweet?
Yeah, that's really cool.
It makes my heart so happy. So yeah, they will ship that for free, which is also awesome. But guys, give your mom the most meaningful gift this Mother's Day with Storyworth. Get started right away with no shipping required by going to storyworth.com/TFAS. You'll get 10% off your first purchase. That's storyworth.com/TFAS for $10 off. So thank you so much, Storyworth. We appreciate you so much. Have you heard about Broadway's big return?
I haven't. I think I unsubscribed to that newsletter a couple years ago.
BroadwayWorld.com.
Is that real? What is that?
It just gives you all the good on Broadway and stuff.
Huh.
But yeah, the big Great White Way, as they call it, is making a return September 14th. So the mayor of New York said that they're opening everything up. We don't know what shows yet, but they're going to full capacity. Like, tickets are starting to go on sale tomorrow.
So they said full capacity, just like normal seating?
And I tried,
probably with masks, I'm assuming.
or maybe social distance type thing. But I thought you would enjoy this because you love numbers. The theater industry in New York funds nearly 100K jobs and pumps nearly $15 billion into the local economy. So it's been closed down for a year, and now they're like, okay, let's go.
Wow.
Isn't that crazy?
Well, now's the time.
Yeah. It makes sense.
There's been, and of course, like Florida and Texas, I think they're the ones that have already started the concerts and all the stadiums and UFC. I believe there was a fight that they had in Florida, I even think it was, where they're just open up. Because if it is, and I haven't really checked this, but it appears to be just from some articles that I think everybody in the United States 18 and older has now gotten the green light and there's availability to get a vaccine.
Yeah.
So I just, it's kind of, because we've been really good. Really good. We've been a Team USA player. We have done our part.
Yes.
And we've been masked. We social distanced. We didn't get together. Like, we followed the regulations.
Right.
And now that we're at a point that people are getting vaccinated, I got vaccinated. Didn't want to. Glad you talked me into it. I'm so happy to be vaccinated. But now that we've gone through this, it's time to go. Because if there's people who aren't going to be vaccinated, we're vaccinated. So now it doesn't involve people as much. And I know there's still little stipulations, but it's like we can't just keep this going forever. It's like we have the vaccines, like let's get back to life and let's just make it work, because the whole inside was only cute for a little bit.
I know.
And now it's time.
We're all ready for it, and I'm just really curious to see what those protocols might look like for Broadway, because we haven't really heard that much yet. Funny enough, the vocal coach I was working with for a little bit, he is in Moulin Rouge on Broadway, so he's been firsthand going through this entire thing. And I think he had mentioned that he heard that people might be going back to rehearsals in the summer, so I'm curious if that show will come back. And it's just so crazy. You just don't know what's going to happen. And are they going to have to like rehire new people? Or are they going to go with the same people? What's that going to look like? For every single job, is it just like, hey, come on back? What are the contracts? What's that look like? Are you going to need the vaccine passport? Are they, I just don't know. Even the other day at my doctor's appointment when I got laser, they're like, oh yeah, do you have a vaccine passport? I was like, oh yeah. And so I gave it to them. They took a picture, and because I had it, they were okay if I took my mask off inside, because everyone in there is fully vaccinated.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah.
And they kept theirs on, but it's interesting.
I think it'll all work itself out in a couple months.
Yeah.
Because I think we're a little, even when I was at the vet with Benji for his like follow up, which he came back great. His thyroid is doing well. They have like still a waiting room where there's like a socially distanced and people are masked and all of that, and they've made it work. But I think there's going to be a transition now where, what do you do with mask or no mask? What do you do with the vaccine passport or no vaccine passport?
Yeah.
Because like you said, if you're in a building where there's 7 people and you're all vaccinated, then why are we still wearing the mask?
Yeah.
Especially in Florida and in the summer. Yeah. No matter where you are, it is a nightmare to wear a mask in certain places that that we want to do. But yeah, we'll see what happens. I'm a team player, but I feel like with all the stats coming out and that we have the vaccines, like let's do it. Let's go. Like let's go.
I know. It'll be interesting to see. And I'm going to a Foreigner concert in 2 weeks. And I guess from what I've heard, they're going to have pods.
Yeah.
So you have like your separate pods. So imagine if you and I went, we'd be in one pod over here, and then there's another one here. So I'm curious with Broadway, because it is inside. How are they going to do that? But maybe I'll have some more intel to see how they're trying to do these things. I know they're going to obviously follow the safety protocol, but CDC has said if you're vaccinated and someone else is vaccinated, you can be in the same indoor area without a mask. Like, that's what they say. So I'm just curious what that's going to look like on paper when they're trying to get, open everything back up. So we'll see.
Yeah, well, that's also going to be too, yet again, if you're going to do the vaccine passport thing, you're going to, piss off a lot of people. And then if you also do a thing where, is everyone vaccinated here? And then like 98 out of the 100 people are, and then everyone's going to be like, then the 2 people are going to be the problem, even though it's their choice not to get it. So we're going to go through an interesting bumpy road now of trying to balance all this out. But yeah, we'll see. But yeah, it's time to just that's all
I'm ready to go.
Yeah. So we'll see how the pod works. Yeah. I think that's great.
Yeah.
It's bad for the venue. Like, I, as a consumer, would love if it was every other seat. Why do you want to sit next to a stranger, even in airplanes? The fact that the middle seat, imagine if that was always open, but then it's not cost effective for the business or the stadium. They lose half their revenue. So it's more comfortable for us. Or if you do a pod, that's great. Yeah. I love being at a table at a comedy show.
Yeah.
Rather than sitting like, excuse me, like that. But unless they reorganize the way it's built,
right.
But you're still going to lose space. The most effective way is just lines of people, shoulder to shoulder, more ticket sales.
They ain't going to be able to do that for a while.
No, it's going to be,
But so then somewhere like Austin, Texas, because even thinking about comedy clubs, Joe Rogan moved from LA to Texas, and obviously everything was closed down when he moved. Do you think in Texas right now that comedy clubs are open?
I think most of them are going to be opened up. Yeah, I think they're opening all that up. So it'll be a summer back to normal.
It's so crazy. Speaking of normal life, and now that life, for me, normal life is having my parents here because they moved here. This is going to be the very first Mother's Day in 15 years I've spent with my mom, which is so crazy. I mean, there might have been like one Mother's Day when I was visiting her. But I'm curious, what do you think we should do? Like, what do we do on Mother's Day? Should we cook a little something for a nice little brunch? What do you think we should do?
That's actually, I didn't think about that because we usually, doesn't your dad work on Monday?
Yeah, but we could do a little brunch or something.
Yeah. I think we could probably maybe we could go somewhere.
I know.
It's probably going to be like super packed though, right? Those are the 2 biggest days of restaurants. Like when I worked at Outback, Mother's Day and Valentine's Day was a madhouse.
Really?
Madhouse. And I remember they would break up the tables into even 2 tops.
Okay.
Because they could fit more people, and more people are coming in on a date rather than a group. So it would just be a 2.5-hour wait, just pumping through the tables. They even sent me to a different Outback one year because they needed help over there. So they sent over servers. So I was at this new restaurant in Glendale that I worked at Burbank. They sent me to Glendale. I remember walking around, and people all come out on Valentine's Day, and on Mother's Day is huge. Mother's Day breakfast, brunch, dinner. So I just kind of talked myself out of that because though I want to get back to normal life, normal Freddie still doesn't want to go with that big of a crowd. So normal Freddie would love a Wednesday at 7:00 reservation is like my vibe.
It is so your vibe.
So maybe we'll just cook like a brunch here.
I was thinking that. It could just be nice, and we could always, we should cook. What would we cook?
Well, it's like a good Mother's Day like brunch. I almost feel like I need to have French toast.
Yes.
Should it be like an actual, like more breakfasty?
Brunchy? I like that. I can definitely get behind that. You're really good at the brunchy breakfast stuff too.
I'm a one-trick pony.
You're really good
I do
at
the
it.
all-American breakfast. I have not done French toast, but maybe I want to make it, kind of cool. I feel like Mother's Day always sneaks up. People talk about it about 10 days before it happens.
I know.
It's kind of like you're living your life, and then all of a sudden it's like Mother's Day, Mother's Day, Mother's Day. Do you want a Mother's Day? It's like Mother's Day, Mother's Day. Even our sponsor today, Mother's Day.
I know.
It's like it just comes out of nowhere, and it's like
know.
10 days to do that. But yeah, we're gonna send something to my mom, and
Of course.
but yeah, no, that's gonna be fun. So we'll see what we can whip up in the kitchen.
Florida Fred coming at ya.
But we're wishing all the mothers out there a happy Mother's Day a little early happy Mother's Day. Enjoy the rest of your week, and then we will be back here next Wednesday. We appreciate you all so much, and we'll see you next week.